guys? Welcome to 180 Drums.
What up?
We've got my man.
We're shaking hands. I didn't know we were gonna. Right. When does one fist pump? When does one shake hands? We should do a segment on that.
That's what we should do, man. We're both type A's. We're both just going in.
We're like,
we
want. We're both dominant people. We both want to be supportive. It's like, I'm going to dominate. No, I'm not. I am not. Right. Anyway, here we are having some fun. We can tell we're getting along pretty well.
We're having a great time.
It's a good day today.
We got our coffees. We're happy, even though it's not.
Yeah.
Even though it's not the type of coffee we would have went for.
It's not the kind of coffee we wanted, but we got some coffee for you.
That's right. We do. Guys.
No, we got some coffee talk. So let's start with the top.
Yeah, come on, man. So today, you're teaching us some of the most important, when it comes to just grooves, foundational grooves, man.
Yeah.
How important is that in what you do, being able to just lay it down, make stuff feel good? Like, this is your job. This is what you get paid to do, right?
My job is to love the groove.
Yes, yeah.
And therefore, the artists with whom I work or the sessions that I do, they are going to love what I do.
Yes.
I'm here to be of service. I'm here to provide something that's going to move people. You want to move people to take action, man. When you play your music, when you play your grooves, think in terms of like you are inspiring people to do something. And music is supposed to convey emotion. It's supposed to convey feelings. It's supposed to convey something that transports you. So the groove is critical. The groove is the feel. Now, I was thinking of a story we were talking earlier. A buddy of mine, Julian Coriel, is my studio mate. He's played with Josh Freese on the road. And Josh Freese is, a big hero of all of ours. I've known Josh since he was 16, man. But they were touring through Japan, and the song comes on. They're in Starbucks, and the song comes on, and Josh goes, "Oh, I don't remember playing this, but this must be me because that's one of my 3 grooves, one of my 3 licks." And why that sticks in my head is because we are all known for certain signature things. And Josh immediately recognized his playing because there are certain what we call money beats. The things that we do as players that we know are going to be effective, they tend to work. You want to do things that work, right? And from your experience after all these years, a guy like me, a guy like Josh, we've learned from our experience. So what I'm going to talk about is some of the grooves and some of the fills that have worked for me over the years. And then what I want to do is I want to take them and expand upon them, because oftentimes when I teach my students, they say, "Man, could you just play some of your fills? Can you play some of your grooves?" So I'll play them over, and you will get a chance to hear them. You'll get a chance to practice along with them, and you'll see how I expand upon them. And then I encourage you on your own to then take those ideas and expand upon those even further. Amazing. And you can email them to me. Contact me directly at info@markschulman.com, MarkSchulman.com, because I want to know how you're taking that stuff and expanding upon it so then I can learn from you. How amazing is that?
Come on, man. It's amazing.
When it comes to groove, something is called a groove because it's consistent. It's like a record group. It makes you feel something that's even. And it's reliable. It's something people can move to, they can dance to, they can bang their head, they can, love someone to, whatever they're going to do. So here's a basic groove for me. So in my earlier podcast, I talked about it's not what we play, it's how we play it. So you could take the simplest groove and play it with such intention that you're just moving people. And you know what? Cha-ching. That's why people hire me.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a few chops. I've got 2-3 chops. But people are usually paying me, or I'm working with the artists with whom I've worked, the Pinks, the Billy Idols, the Stevie Nicks, the Velvet Revolvers, Cher even, Simple Minds, because it's the groove that I play and the intention with which I play things that are simple. So let's start with the simplest groove, and I'm going to expand upon it. Okay?
Oh, come on.
Come on!
Come on!
So what I wanted you to notice about that is, even though I might be playing the ghost notes, and dynamically they're very, very low. One of the things we talked about in the other segment is the dynamic level between the ghost notes and the main notes. And I might be playing those ghost notes, but they're perfectly synchronized with the bass drum. So
yeah.
You notice that everything lies in sync.
Now, how did you develop that? How did you work on that to get them so tight? Because they sound seamless.
Well, the secret is playing them slowly. See, those flam too much for me. They even flam too much for me. But imagine the power. That's how you can play. The secret to always playing quickly is to be able to play it slow and to break it down as slowly as you can possibly do it without just falling off your stool and melting.
But also, it's important to note that that separation isn't the worst thing in the world, because that's feel a little bit too, right? Like,
it is.
Like a little bit of tension that way. Obviously, when you're playing it faster, everything was getting a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
Just due to comfort. But that didn't sound bad. That was like, that had a swagger to it, man.
It had a bit of a swagger to it. I think the key to all of this is the intention. What do you intend to do?
Right.
Like if I'm intending to have it be a little bit lazy or have a slight flam, that's okay. That's purposely kind of sloshy and a little bit flammy. It does have a nice roll to it, but that's part of what gives it the feel. But I intended to do that. If I want... There's a difference, you know?
Yeah.
And you may like one better than the other. My point is that I have the intention and I have the control of being able to do it. What I always tell people is... My goal when I was younger is I never wanted anybody to tell me I'm speeding up or slowing down unless I want to speed up or slow down. And I never want somebody to tell me I'm playing something too loose or too sloshy unless I tend to do it. But the idea is there's no wrong or right. We're just talking your ability to actually control it. And that's what's critical to me is the control in what you do. And that's why you need to slow it down. You need to experiment. You need to try different tempos, different feels. Also, even experimenting with the way you set up your kit. Because sometimes if I set up my kit differently, if I tune my drums differently, I'm going to be inspired to play something a different way. So I always say experimentation is a wonderful thing to do. I say try to experiment in the practice room. So when you get on the main stage, at least you have that control that you need to have.
Yeah. So walk us through, what are some other grooves that you think are really fundamental? I love that you showed a really basic groove and you showed how to simply add stuff step by step.
Yeah.
You made it super tight. What are some other really fundamental grooves that you think are just must-knows?
Well, I was thinking about this, and one of the things that gets me very excited is being able to play something totally straight, play something totally in swing time, and in between.
Ooh.
And the in between is what
magic,
creates some real magic. And then if you can lock into that with the bass player and the guitar player and the keyboard player, so everybody's in the same place. So let's take a very straight groove, like a. And let's make it complete swing. And what I can do is I can keep it straight, and then I'm going to gradually get it more swinging to the point where it's almost what we call overswing. It's like dotted sixteenths.
Right.
all very different feels to me.
Yes.
They like all live literally in a different place. But having an understanding and the ability to actually control your time, so...
Mark Schulman.
Those are, well, you asked, but that's what came to my mind, because that's the kind of stuff, those little subtleties, to me, the ability to control that and understand that, that's what takes you from this level to that level.
Yeah.
Because you start working with these great artists, these big artists, and also being able to play a variety of different styles. So I'm known for being like a rock guy. I play with Billy Idol and Pink and Cher, but the truth is, man, I can incorporate these kinds of swing feels, and I use them. When I'm on stage with Pink, I'm using all this type of skill set.
Yeah.
The subtleties, the real audacious, bold stuff, but I have a musical understanding and a musical palette, so to speak, that I can always draw from. So understanding these differences and these subtleties and listening to all these different styles of music makes such a big difference.
Give us some styles, man. So why don't you separate for everybody watching, if they're trying to think, man, I'm trying to think of an example where things are really straight, where things are semi-swung, and where things are really swung. What would you give us some examples or some drummers? So now I think swung, right? I think guys like Stanton Moore. He can play real swung, real swampy, real gritty.
Real swampy.
The meters,
from the New Orleans,
zigaboo, right? Then I think of semi-swung. I think of a guy like Zorro. I feel like Zorro is kind of a semi-swung guy, right?
Yeah. Depends on what they're playing. Depends on what's being played. One of the interesting things about Ringo, who's known as being one of the simplest and obviously one of the greatest foundational drummers for all of us that things were built on, is he had a little bit of a swing to the eighth notes. So if you play an eighth note really straight, obviously fully swung. If you add just the slightest bit of swing to it, like, you start to feel the difference. It's like, wow, that's like you're living somewhere else.
Yeah.
You're telling a different story. You're expressing something musically slightly differently. And so
give us the Ringoism too, of the motion.
Well, there's a Ringo. Part of this, Ringo used to swing that. I can't really do it.
Right? Yeah.
But kind of like swing, you do the swing motion, and I think that by nature, it's get like the second beat is just slightly delayed.
And it's funny, too, because with Ringo, that was the era, right? They were coming out of a very swing-heavy era.
They were coming out of a swing. You listen to John Bonham. John Bonham grew out of, John Bonham is a great example of someone who would always play a little bit of swing time.
Yeah.
The ocean.
Yeah.
And it's not
fun.
If you play it totally straight without any of the swing, you're kind of missing that feel. Or like, Did You Make Her? Slight swing.
That felt great,
but
man.
that's you get it from him.
Great.
If it was totally straight, it would have a different feel.
Yes.
It could be a great feel.
Yeah.
But it would be a different feel, and that's the thing to understand and comprehend.
Yes.
So why don't I finish this session by playing out some of my some of my fills.
Bring it
Give
on,
you some
yeah.
fill ideas. I'll start with something similar, and I'll start just expanding on it. As I said, this is the kind of thing that I do for my students, and you guys can play along. Here we go. More even.
Now, there's one other fill that you like to do a lot where you like to go up to the tom with your left hand and kind of, there's like a flam fill that you're throwing in there. How would I try and even verbalize it? Da da ra ra.
Yeah, I think that's the Greg Bissonette fill.
Show us that one.
Well,
man.
there's a couple versions. So you. Slow those down for you.
Unreal, man. Unreal.
I know how to break that down.
That was great, man. That's great. Play us out, man.